what he did with the Sajal, if he managed to produce a critical edition. Nevertheless, this would have been very difficult for somebody not familiar with the Andalusian dialect. It would need a new approach, and they were very conscious of it. Look at what they say. This is quite rare because, let's say that Corriente has always been a very sober academician, etc. He loved Ibn Arabi very, very much, but he never wanted to write about him because he didn't feel prepared to do so. And they say, the physical structure of this muwashahat on the written page seems to imply the presence of geometry and number. Geometry, number, gematria, and arcane meanings of number are an area that might reward examination. Another muwashah writer of the period comes to mind, the Jewish poet Abraham ibn Ezra, who combined his poetic vocation with that of geometer and astronomer. A very interesting comment. They were conscious that the distribution of lines and the use of elements in these muwashahat and sajal poems were connected to a sense of symbolic geometry and number issues. And this is really relevant for my purpose today in sharing the reading of these texts with you. In my recent study with Steve Histenstein, in the use of numbers to interpret all aspects of a poem, of any Akbarian text, but in particular in poetry, as the highest expression of the Akbarian discourse, connected to the poetry of the universe, to poetry as the origin of all things. Ibn Arabi reminds us in his chapter on the letters that the first hermeneutic key, al-miftah al-awwal, to contemplate the dynamic of numbers in reality is to consider the units 1 to 9. Now, why did I choose this poem in particular? He explicitly mentions when introducing the poem that it is connected, that he's using the alfaz al-jawahir, the terms dealing with the gemstones that Abu Hamid al-Ghazali used. So he's referring to his work, Jawahir al-Quran, a work we are going also to discuss. I produce a small table as a resume of the main terms we are going to deal with in the poem, because it is a very difficult poem. It's of high alchemical symbolism, dealing with the stones and other substances, and it's difficult to understand. So one wonders, gosh, this is a popular poem in dialect, and nevertheless it deals with the highest alchemical symbolism of gemstones, which refers, as we shall see in Ghazali's work, to the different levels of the Quranic verses. Well, it's quite something to sing in the streets. He's presuming a reception from his public that is quite astonishing.